Sudoku stream. We are at the point where 40 seconds of delay. 10 for the start and another 30 seconds for the 30 minutes that I'm late. Let's get this validated. And it is validated, so I will now wait 40 seconds, or at least until the clock up at the top here says that 40 seconds have have passed through. Meanwhile, let's do a quick refresh here. That way, if somebody chats, it might be able to see it better than I can over here. All right, we are well past 40 seconds now. Let's see what we can do. Well, I've got 3 possibilities for 1 there, 4 here. I'll get a 1 here. That gets me 2 possibilities for 1 here. So we'll log that. We've got 2 possibilities for 1 here. Here I've got 4 possibilities. So that looks like it for 1. So how about 2s? Get a 2 here. 2 here. One of these 2 will be a 2, because that's a 2. No, neither of these 2 will be a 2, because there's a 2 right there. All right, one of these 2 is going to be a 2. We get a couple of possibilities here as well. And let's see. We get a 2 here. And one of these 2 is a 2. And then I've got 4 possibilities here. We'll come back to that. 3s. Get a 3 here. And a 3 here. That means this is a 3. This becomes a 3 and this a 2. This becomes a 2. This is a 2, and we clear up this one. This one gets cleared up, and that's a 2. And I believe that means we've got all the 2s now. But we were looking at 3s. So one of these 2, this one's a 3. I've got 3 possibilities here. At the moment I've got 5 possibilities here. We get a 3 here. So it's 2 possibilities here. And then over here, one of these 3 is a 3. These 3. That's the only one that's limited down here. All right, let's go to 4s. One of these 2 is a 4. One of these 2 here is a 4. Get a 4 here, so one of these 3 is a 4. One of these 2 is a 4. Nope, we got a 4 here. All right, so really what we're left with is figuring out which of these 3 is a 4. So we'll have to come back to that. 5s. We've got a 5 here. One of these 2 will be a 5. This becomes a 5. We've got 2 possibilities for a 5 here. So far I've got 3 possibilities there. We'll see if we can fix that up a little bit. One of these 3 is a 5. And we've got all kinds of possibilities here. We got a whole row here though, so let's see if we can solve this one. Looks like I got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, a 6, and there's no 7s here, so that's a 7. That means one of these two is a 7. Alright, I've got 3 possibilities for a 7 here, 2 here. We're still working on 5s, I think. See if we can do anything more with those. So one of these 3 is a 5. That makes this a 5. So not a 5 here. That's a 5. That changes this up here to being one of these two is a 5. Here I've still got 4 or 5 possibilities though. And 2 here. 3 possibilities here. Alright, 6s. Got a 6 here. Looks like that's a 6, so one of these 3 is going to be a 6. Don't see anything useful for figuring that out quite yet. And up here I've got 2 possibilities for a 6 there, 3 possibilities here because of this. Here I've got 3 possibilities. And let's see. Correction, I've got 4 possibilities here. But that means I've got 2 possibilities here, and this is a 6. So this, nope, that doesn't fix that yet. However, we do get a 1 here. So now that's not a 1. All right. Anything else with 6s? So I've got 3 possible 6s here, 4 possible 6s here, 2 here, 3 possible here, and that's it. 7s. We got a few of them already, but a pair of them possible there. Looks like one of these two is going to be a 7. This one can't be because I've got 7s have to be in one of these 2 rows, and they can't be in the middle row here in these 6, so it's got to be one of these 2 for the 7. 7 there and there. One of these 2 is a 7. And now we've got 2 possible 7s here. 2 possible 7s here. All right. I do believe that's all I can do with 7s. That's placing earmarks everywhere. So 8s. Well, this one gets to be an 8. That means one of these 2 is going to be an 8. Up here, I've got 4 possibilities at the moment. One of these 2 is going to be an 8. One of these 3 is an 8. Here, this is blocked from being an 8, which turns this into an 8. That makes this into a 4, so we can clean up this 4. It turns this into a 4. Let's see what else we can do. We've got an 8 here, an 8 here. This can't be an 8, so one of these 2 is going to be an 8. That means one of these 2 is an 8. Okay. Anything else? Well, we know one of these. Okay, one of those 2 is an 8. Got an 8 here, one of these 2, and one of these 2. All right. How about 9s? So we've got a 9 here. One of these 2 is a 9. It's going to be this one. This is going to be a 9. Got a 9 here. These 2 can't be a 9, so that's a 9. That means this one gets to be a 9, so we've got a 5 going in here. All right. 999 999 999. Right. So we should be able to start tidying up a few more things. This one becomes a 7. So not a 7 there. That's a 7. 7, not a 4. Let's see. And these two is an 8. That can be a 1. That can be a 1. That can't. So I still get 3 possibilities for a 1 there. 3 possibilities here. Oh no, 2 possibilities here. One of these two is a 1 because one of these two has to be a 1. And let's check this out. Let's see if we can fill out the empties here. We have 2 possibilities for a 1. There's a 2 here. One of these two is a 3. One of these 3 is a 3, so we've got 3 possibilities for a 3 here. And then one of these 2 is a 6. All right. That fills out what we can do here. I know one of these 3 will be a 3, but I'm not flooding yet. All right, this can't be a 7, so this is a 7, and this is an 8. We got 1s here, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of these 2 will be a 6. Don't know which yet. Know once we get one of these picked out, though. All right. Oh, hey, we can drop a 7 here. Means that's not a 7, and that is. Here we've got 8 3s, so the missing digit here is going to be a 5. One of these 2 will be 5. It won't be that one, so if that's a 5, that's a 4. And that means now we've got a solution for 4s here. Makes that an 8. 1s and 6s here. This one, I've got a 2 here. Where do 3s go? Oh, one of these 2 is a 3. Not this one though, so this is a 3. That means one of these 2 is a 3. So once we've got one of those solved, which is about to happen, this one is a 3 because it can't be an 8. This one is an 8. That makes this one into a 1, a 3, and a 6 here. A 1 here. So not a 1 there. This is a 6. And this is a 1. This is a 1. This is a 6. Over here we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So not an 8 here. This is an 8. This is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one becomes a 6. And down here we get a 2. No, not a 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 5. Hey, 13 minutes and 21 seconds in stream is not bad. All right. Now we pull up puzzle number 2. Also an easy puzzle. Play again. Load me on. Observation, you don't have to follow the same pattern that I am for loading these up. If you've got a solver like GNOME Sudoku, and not a version that says you have to have preloaded the file you want to load or stored it someplace ahead of time. I just do this so that I've got some consistency in how I fill out the platform or the system that I'm using. You can easily go through and just fill in one square at a time as you see fit. Consistency, though, does help with making sure that what I'm loading up is what's in the starting page. All right, let's check this. If it validates, you get 40 seconds of lead time, and there you go. Another 15 seconds yet. Black squirrels eating nuts and seeds out of a log. The nuts and seeds were put there by the videographer. All right, there's 40 seconds plus. So let's see what I can do. All right, one of these two is a 6. No, it's not. That's a 6. I've got 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. One of these 3 is going to be a 6. 3 possibilities there. 3 possibilities there. 2 possibilities here. That means one of these 3 will be a 6. All right, let's go back to the easy ones. Ones. And we've got 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here, 2 possibilities here. We get a solve here of a 1. That means I've got 3 possibilities here and 2 possibilities here. Because this one can't be 1, this one can't be 1, this one can't be 1. All right, still have 3 possibilities here. 2 here. Looks like that's all I can do with 1s. So on to 2s. Get a 2 here. These are blocked, these are blocked, this is blocked. Ah, this is a 2. And let's see, we get a 2 here, here. That makes this a 2. One of these 2 is a 2. We get a 2 here, which narrows this one down to not that, and that one. All right, 3s. We get a 3 here. 1, 3 here. One of these 3 will be a 3, but that's too many. 3 possibilities here. 2 here. Nope, my mistake, not 2 here. We get a solve of a 3 here, because I missed that this was a 3. That means one of these 2 is a 3, which helps here a little bit. One of these 4 will be a 3. One of these 2 will be a 3. All right, we've got a 3 here. One of these 2 is going to be a 3. And one of these 2 is going to be a 3. Not that one, though. So this is a 3. Not a 3. This is a 3. 2 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here yet. One of these 2 is a 3. And that looks like as far as I can go at this point. 4s. We get a 4 here. 4 here, here, here. So one of these two is a 4. One of these two is a 4. One of these two is a 4. But one of these two is a 4, so this is not, this is. We got a 4 here and a 4 here, so one of these two is a 4. Not that one, these two. All right, 5s. Do we have any 5s on the board? I am not seeing any 5s on the board, so we get to come back for those later. 6s. We've got a 6 here, a couple possibilities there, or 6 here, 6 here, and here. This one says 6 is going to have to be on the outside, and this one has 2 possibilities. That means one of these two has to be a 6 because of that. That means over here, one of these two is a 6, which we already earmarked. One of these two is a 6, and that means I've got 2 possibilities for a 6 here. Not a 6 there, that's a 6. And I think that's all I can do for 6s at the moment. 7s. We've got a 7 here and here and here. This one means I've got 2 possibilities down here. I've got 2 possibilities here because of this 7 blocking all of these. And this is being blocked by this. Means this one's a 7, and that turns this into a 7. Not a 7. Seven there. So one of these two is a 7. It's going to be this one. And that means this one's a 7 because that can't be. And I think that means we've got good places for 7 all over the board. I do not see any empty squares for 7s. All right, 8s. Got an 8 here, so these two are blocked. Oh, there's an 8 there. There's an 8 there. 8 there makes this into an 8. This is blocked, so one of this one's going to be an 8. Down here we've got an 8, and there's an 8, so this is an 8, and that's 8's solved. 9s. We've got a 9 here, a 9 here, so one of these two, this one will be 9 because I've got the 9 here. Up here, this can't be a 9, so that's a 9. That means one of these two is a 9, and again we run into this one, so that gets to be a 9. Now we've got 2 possibilities here. One of these two is a 9. One of these two is a 9. And that works up with one of these two being a 9, but it's going to be that one. All right. See what else we can do. We're down to a 1 here. 2, 3. One of these two is 4. One of these two is a 5. This is going to be a 5. That means one of these two is a 5. And since 4s and 5s are in the same here and here, it's going to depend upon whether I can get a 4 or a 5 in these 2 columns here specifically. All right. One of these two is going to be a 5. That means this is a 5. Not a 1 here, so that's a 1. This is now going to be a 3. So with the 6s, one of these two is a 5. And based upon elimination, one of these two is going to be a 5. That means down here, we get a 1 here, 2. This one gets to be a 3. Not a 3 here now. So it looks like this gets to be a 5. And let's see. This one gets to be a 1. So not a 1 here. Oh, nope. We are blocked on 1s. How about this one being a 1? That doesn't help me much either. Okay. One and 9. We get a 4-3 pair here, or 4-5 pair there. Not a 9 there. That turns that into a 9. That turns that into a... No. By 6 pair. One of these two is a 6. And these two is a 4. And these two is... Oh, wait. This one's a 4. So not a 4 here. Can't be a 1, though. This one becomes a 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This becomes a 5. And that blocks this. Alright, let's start from scratch. And I'm just going to flood fill everything. It's a slow process, but we get a 1 here. 2 is going to be one of these 3. 3 is going to be one of these. The 3 is here. 4. We drop potentials for 5 everywhere that's open. 6, 7. These two can't be 8, so one of these two is an 8. And this is a 9. Oh, hey, that can't be an 8, so that's an 8. We get a 5-3 pair there. All right. 1s. I've got 3 possibilities for a 1 here. 2 here. This becomes a 3, so now I've got 2 possibilities for a 1. 4s. I've got 2 possibilities for a 4. Everything becomes potentially a 5. That's open. 6, 7, 8, and this, or one of these two, this one's going to be a 9. So we got those tagged in. All right, we got 2 possibilities for a 1. How about a 2? Well, these two can't be a 2. This one can't be a 2, so 2 possibilities for a 2, which means this is a 5 and this is a 2. That can't be a 2. This is a 2. That turns that into a 1. 2, 3. That can't be a 4, so one of these two is a 4. One of these two is a 5, which means this is a 9. That turns that into a 9. Now I've got a 1, 2, 3. One of these two is a 4. One of these 4 is a 5. Till we find one of these is a 5. One of these. 6s. One of these two is a 6. One of these two is a 7. 8 and 9. So here, one of these two is a 1. And one of these, 1 is a 2. 3. These are blocked, these are blocked. One of these two is a 3. Oh, this becomes a 1 as a result. Nope. So, all right. 1, 2, 1s, 2, 3s. One of these two is a 4. And it's going to be that one, not that. 5s all over the place. Oops. That tells me something. This won't be a 5. 6s. Got a 6 here, so one of these two is a 6. This one's going to be a 7. And let's see, 8's going to be down here, there. And 9 will be one of these two. It's going to be this one. Oh, nope, we got a 9 in the middle already. So we're on to the next row. This one's going to be a 9. We got a 1 and a 2. One of these two is a 3. It's going to be this one. The other is going to be a... Nope, not a 4. 4 here. So one of these two is going to be a 5. I've got two possibilities for a 6, 7. This one becomes an 8, so 5 and 6. And we're done with that one. All right. We've got a 1 down here. This is going to be a 2. This is going to be a 3. Got a 4 here. One of these two is a 5. 6 is going to be one of these two. Which means this is a 7. Which is not a big surprise. All right, I've got 3 possibilities for a 1. 2 here. Looks like I've got 4 possibilities for a 3. Everything's open for a 5 at this point. 6s. Well, these two can't be a 6, so it's going to be one of these two. 7. One of these two is an 8. Not that one, though, so that's an... Oh, I've got an 8 already. 8 here. And this one's going to be a 9. All right. Can I tidy anything up here yet? 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 3. Not really. All right. So this is going to be a 1, which means neither of these are. That becomes a 1. This becomes a 2. Nope, we got a 2. 3s. One of these 3s is 3. But not that one. One of these two is a 3. 4s. Well, it looks like this gets to be a 4, so this is a 3. And this is the only place I can put a 5 in this column. So that means this one's going to be a 7. This is going to be a 5. Got the 3 taken care of. That means, oh, don't give that a 3 yet. It may be a 3. Well, it's not a 5. It's not a 5 here. This is going to be a 6, I believe. Yep. So yes, this is a 3. And this becomes a 5 with this being a 6. Over here, that's no longer possibly a 1, so that's a 5, that's a 1. Turns this into a 6 and a 3 here. And all I've got left here is a 5 and a 7, 4 and a 6 here, 5 and a 4 here, 5, 1, 4 here. Hey, 19 minutes and 32 seconds. Not bad considering I had to do a full restart. If you're wondering what I'm doing, in another screen I am logging the results. So that I can file a report when I'm done. All right. So we clear this, and we are going to enter a new puzzle. I'm going to go ahead and close that. What's behind there we'll need yet. But puzzle. So we can put a 4, 6, 7 here, 8, 9, 2 here, 4, 9, 1 here, 3, 1, 9, 4, 5, 7, 6, 9, 3, 1, 5, 2, 7, 1, 6, 8, nope, not there, 8, 7, 6, 3. Let's see if that validates, and if it does, you get 40 seconds ahead of me. All right. I continue to watch the black squirrel. Or the counter. That's never a fun solution. Take a quick check on the 3D prints. They both appear to be printing along nicely. And there's 40 seconds. So what do we got? One of these 2 is a 7. One of these 2 is a 7. Here I've got 3 possibilities for a 7. One of these 2 is going to be a 7 though. I've got 3 possibilities here. All right, let's go on to the normal solution process. Pair of 1s here. Looks like I've got 4 possibilities here. Pair of possibilities. No, got a 1 here. That makes this a 1, solves that. And that means that I've got 3 possibilities for 1 there now. 3 possibilities for 1 here. But we get a 1 here, so we're down to 2 possibilities for 1 here. 1 here and here. One of these 2 is a 1. And that's going to do for here. We've got 2 possibilities for a 2 here. I'm showing 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities down here. Here I've got 4 possibilities. Nothing useful there. And I said 4 possibilities there. And yep, all right. 3s. We got a 3 here and here. These 3 will be a 3. I've got one of these 3 to be a 3. This can't be a 3. It's going to be one of these 4. Okay. Three possibilities there, 4 up here. All right, moving on to 4s for now. I've got 2 possibilities for a 4 here. Here I've got 4 possibilities. 2 possibilities here. Here I've got 4 possibilities. 2 possibilities here, which makes 2 possibilities here. One of these 2 is a 4. It's going to be one of these 4, so this is a 4, not a 4 here. All right, we'll come back over here. Like I say, there are 4 possibilities here. Too many for me to mark. So let's go into 5s. Do I have any 5s on the board? Or there's one. There's another. So one of these 2 is a 5. Up here, I've got 4 possibilities, 4 possibilities, 4 possibilities, and 4 possibilities. And that doesn't help here. Here I've got 2 possibilities for a 5. 6s. We've got a 6 here and a 6 here. Plus this 6 here means one of these 2 is a 6. Over here, these are blocked, so it's going to be one of these 4. Here I've got 3 possibilities. These 2 are blocked. This one's blocked, so I've got 3 possibilities here. This one gets to be a 6. Which means these 2 are blocked. These 2 are blocked. That makes this a 6. And that cuts down things a bit here. We now have 2 possibilities of 6 that matches up with the 7, so not a 4 there, there's a 4. And that 4 means this is a 4. But let's look at 6s again. We've got 2 possibilities for a 6 here. And I do believe that means we've got 6 is pretty much earmarked. Got, yep, 2 possibilities here. 7s. One of these 2 is a 7. One of these 3 is a 7. I've got 3 possibilities, nope, 2 possibilities here. 7 here and here. One of these 3 is a 7. One of these 2 is a 7. All right, we'll come back to that again later. 8s. 3 possibilities for an 8. All right, up here we've got an 8. 4 possibilities there. 4 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here for an 8. That means this is an 8. Which means neither of these can be an 8. We're down to 3 possibilities there. One of these 2 is an 8. Okay, how about here? I've got 2 possibilities for an 8. Here I've got 5 possibilities for an 8, so we don't mark those. And 2 8 possibilities here. Let's work through 9s and see if we get anything useful there. There's a 9 here. One of these 2 will be a 9. This gets to be a 9, which means I get to earmark those in a few moments. I've got 3 possibilities for a 9 there. 2 possibilities here. One of these two is a 9. All right. I said something about this. Well, one of these two is a 2. There's 3, 4. One of these two is a 5. All right. Got 3 openings here. One here. One of these 3 is a 2. One of these 2 is a 3. Got a 4, 5, 6, 7 here. And so far I've got 3 possibilities for an 8. All right, 7 and 6 here. Pair of possible 8s here. We are missing 2s. 3 possibilities there. 3, 4. How about 5s? 3 possibilities for a 5. All right. How about over here? We got a 1, 2 possibilities for a 2. Two possibilities for a 3, 4 here. I'm seeing 3 possibilities for a 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 possibilities for a 9. All right, 2 possibilities for, well, let's start at the bottom, 1s. 3 possibilities for a 1, a 2 here.